Hey, hey, hey. Happy New Year, Village. I know you all missed us because we miss you and we are ready to start this year off strong. I know you're probably looking and wondering, where's Dr. Roz? Well, Coach Williams is going to hold it down today in her absence. Before we move on and talk about this brand new year, I would be silly if I didn't shout out our book, guys. Remember, the village, we have created this book. I want you to see it right here. Set your team on fire. The three elements of a professional learning community. And guess what, guys? We are bestsellers. So you know what you need to do. Go ahead and get your copy if you haven't gotten it already. Don't forget that not only do we have the book, but we also have that course coming out. So your team, not only do you need the book, but you also need the course. So, like I said, Dr. Roz isn't here with us, but guess what? We have someone else that's going to help us bring in this new year and talk about our goals, getting us ready to make the change. I have to bring in our girl, Dineen. Dineen, come on in.
Hey, happy new year, everybody. Let's
Woo!
go. Let's go. Look, I don't know if y'all remember me. I've been to the village a couple of times, but y'all got to be ready to kill the chat for me, right? So
Uh-oh.
burn the chat up. We're going to set the chat on fire. Do you understand setting the chat on fire just like the book set your team on fire? We're going to set the chat on fire. So I just want you
I
guys
know
to
that's
be
right.
ready. Get your pen, your paper, and all the things. And Coach Williams, can I introduce myself? Do you want me to go ahead
Please
and introduce myself?
no.
Okay, listen. To the village out here, the community. Come on, I don't see nothing in the chat yet. Why can't I see nothing in the chat? Are y'all not saying anything to me? Maybe I'm on the wrong tab. Let me get up here to the right tab. Okay, all right. I see. Okay, fire. Dr. Roz, I see you already in the chat. Light it up because I want to see it. But my name is Dineen Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program. It's the #1 training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. But today we're talking about becoming the change. Put it in the chat. Becoming the change, right? We're going to get you set for the new year. We're going to have a strong conversation because how many people out there
Ooh,
have been wanting something for a very long time? I want you to put it in the chat. If
absolutely.
it's you, put it in the chat, right? And when I say want something for a very long time, I'm talking about anything longer than 3 months to a year, and you haven't been able to obtain it. You haven't been able to achieve it. It seems like it's out of your grasp, but it's a fire, it's a burn, it's a desire, it's a want. You prayed for it, you've been
Yeah.
talking about it, but you still ain't got it, and you trying to figure out why I ain't seen it yet. Why I ain't got it yet? Well, we're gonna have that conversation today because I'm about to tell you why you ain't got it.
Ooh, y'all, we about to work in here today. Like she said, what have you been trying to work for? Why don't you have it? Dig deep, think about it. I'm Coach Williams. I am the content supervisor for the Village
Come
Leadership
on.
Group. Remember, it takes a village to bring and build strong teachers, leaders, and communities. That is why we are here. That is why we have Dineen. Dineen, we are ready to dig deep. Are you ready to work with us?
I'm ready to work. I'm ready to work. So I know that we're here and we're having a conversation, and this is all about becoming a change for me this year, my community, for myself. And I'm not speaking just as a coach, but also someone that's on their journey. And if any of you guys are out here that again have been working towards things that you just can't get together, like for me, it's all around my health and well-being, right? There may be an area of life that you've been working on consistently, and maybe again you haven't been able to see the change that you want. I want you to drop that inside of the chat, right? Is it how you show up in your school as a dynamic teacher and you feel like you're giving 150%, but you haven't been able to make the impact that you want to make? You haven't been able to see the shifts inside of your community the way that you want to? Or maybe it's your finances, maybe it's your business, maybe it's as a leader setting your team on fire. Now, okay, the sidebar, this is what I want y'all to do. If y'all ain't do this last year, put this in the chat. Leaders
Uh-oh.
read, put it in the chat. Leaders read. Put it in the chat. Leaders read, starting with
Leaders
Dr.
read.
Roz and Dr. Williams' book. You need to go ahead and read that. Set your team on fire. Leaders read, right? Drop your link inside the chat. Drop it again, even if you dropped it before, right? So leaders read. And what I want you to get to about whatever that area is, right? I know how to get you back on track. Let's go back to the becoming the change, right?
Okay.
Whatever that area of life is, whether it's, being a dynamic wife, being a dynamic leader, being a businesswoman, being
Mm.
that can set your team on fire, or having a strong community, whatever that is that you've been working on, or that you want to work on, or that you haven't been able to shift, I want you to put that in the chat. Like, what is that? For me,
Mm.
it's my health and well-being. Okay. Because straight
Mm.
throughout this pandemic, your girl done gained 40 pounds. Now that's a problem. And I get it. Just put it in chat. It's a problem. It is a problem. And I want to share with you that this has been an area of life that I've worked on for as long as I can remember. I know that my first diet that I had may have been in, I want to say, the fifth grade. And
Wow.
ever since then, yeah, Coach Williams, it has been like a roller coaster ride. It's like, if you looked in my closet, you would see sizes from 12 to 20, right? It's just an
Mhm.
area that I haven't been able to figure out. Like, and I want to change it, right? I have that burn, I have that desire. I prayed about it. I've invested in it. But there's something that's preventing me from maintaining that level of success in my health that I really want. And it ain't because
Right.
I don't want it, right? Like, what is something in your life, Coach Williams, that maybe you have a similar outcome where you have had success in it, but then it drops off, or you lose it, and then you get it back, and then you lose it. Do you have any areas of your life that you could relate that's like that?
Woo, Jesus. You just want one.
Yeah, yeah, just one, just one that we could talk about openly tonight.
So I'm going to go ahead and be honest. Everyone knows that Dr. Roz is my sister. And so I have also been on the journey of entrepreneurship, starting my own business. And I have been doing things and it's been going well. And then it kind of dies out. Right.
Yeah.
And I see other people being successful. Right.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I got to get my energy back. I got to keep doing that. But it's not picking up the way I want it to.
Yeah, I think this is perfect. This is
Yeah.
amazing. Now, see, this is the extra nuggets right here, right here. Put this in the chat. It's not in the doing. Put in the
Mm,
chat. It's not in the doing. Put it in the chat. I
mm.
hope I can see Dr. Roz. So if Dr. Roz chatting with me, then I know other people
You
can
know,
chat with me. I know some people got to be out there, hopefully, unless she's inside of
right.
the StreamYard room. But listen, I want you to put inside the chat, it's not in the doing. Here's where I
Yeah.
want you to put in the chat. It's in the being. Put it in the chat. It's
Ooh.
in the being. So as I was sharing my story with you about my health and wellness, how I have been being around that area is super independent, strong will. I don't need nobody.
Mm.
I can do it by myself. Now I'm gonna hit y'all with the craziness, because this is where the crazy come in. Now, y'all, I could call me crazy, but y'all don't be calling me crazy. Y'all just
You
love on
gotta
me
put
over
that in the
here
chat.
in the village, okay? But here is where I want you to get where why these things that you say that you want and you have the desire and a burn for, you can't keep in your grasp and you can't keep in
Mm.
your hands. And I'm telling you, it's not in the doing, it's in the being. Put it in the chat. It's not in the doing, it's in the being. And let me tell you who I have been being around this situation. Independent. I could do it on my own. Why? Because I've been practicing
Mm.
health and well-being, losing weight, working out for as long as I can remember, right? It's just been,
Right.
I feel like I must not be doing the right thing. I'm not working out enough. I'm not drinking out enough water. I'm not doing this and doing that, right? But put it in the chat. It's not in the doing. Do you know that I walk almost 3.5 miles every day? Do you know I drink almost 8 glasses of water consistently every day? Didn't I just tell you that I still gained 40 pounds
Right.
through the pandemic? Because I want you to get that it's not in the doing, it's in the being. So because I go through this thought process that I shouldn't need help in what it is that I'm doing, because I've been on this ride or this journey for so long, I should
Mm.
know what to eat. I should know how to take care of myself. I should know what things to do to help my body be slim and trim and ready for the bathing suits and all the stuff when the summer comes, right? But here's what you got to get. It's not that I don't know what to do. It's not that I don't have knowledge on how to lose weight, but I am actually not being the person that could receive what it is she needs in
Mm.
order to lose the weight. And here's what I discovered that I needed. See, every time that I saw that I had success in my weight loss journey, it was when I had a coach. when I had someone holding me accountable, when I had someone preparing meal plans for me, or maybe when I went to Weight Watchers and I got on the scale and I was tracking my points. But every week I had to go to this meeting and I stepped on that scale in front of other people and I had conversations with people that were supporting me. But see, here it
Right.
is. Let me tell you what the struggle is for me, Coach Williams, because my strong suit, because my superpower is being courageous, bold, independent, not needing nobody. I can make things happen. That doesn't
Mhm.
work in the area of my health and well-being. Do you get
Right.
that? That way of being strong-willed, independent, courageous, and bold, and doing it on my own, that don't work in health
Yes,
and
it is.
well-being. And
Mhm.
I know that there's areas like, what area of life would you say, Coach Williams, you're super successful in, and nobody can tell you like, this is my thing. I know how to do it. Can't nobody touch me in this. What area of life would that be?
If you ask me anything about educating young minds around mathematics, I got that on lock. I
Got
can
it on
break
lock.
that down for your baby. It ain't gonna be no problem. Okay? That's
And
it.
when you are teaching math, how do you show up? Who are you being in that moment?
I'm honestly being whoever the kids need me to be. If you need me to be your buddy, I'm your buddy. I'm sitting right there with you. If you just need me to just give you a little bit of reassurance, I got you. I'm your bobblehead. Yes, yes, yes. Right. If I'm if I
I
need
love
to
it.
be your comedic relief just because you're going through something so you can take your mind off and get back, I'm flexible to
Yeah.
be whoever those kids need me to be.
And
Right?
that's, yes,
That's
you're
it.
flexible. So you hear Coach Williams saying when she with your baby, she flexible. It doesn't matter, like however they come into her classroom works for her, right?
Mhm.
You know, your student don't have to be straight A's, your students don't have to be calm and relaxed. She said if they need the bobblehead, she with the bobblehead. If they need a little bit of encouragement, they need a push, she there to push them, right? Whatever it is that
Mhm.
you need, she's being flexible. That's her way of
Mhm.
being, because she knows being flexible allows her to be able to accommodate and help all kids, no matter what challenges they may be having,
Mhm.
no matter what background they're coming from. But that's a way of being that she walks into the room that makes her different than anybody else. So nobody can mess with her when it comes to math. Why? Because she comes in so flexible. No matter what you throw at her,
Exactly.
she can bend to the left, she can bend to the right, she can make it happen. And what I'm saying is that area of your life where you are starting to not see the results that you want is in your being and not in your doing.
Exactly.
Come on, put it in the chat. It's not in my doing, it's in my
It's
being.
in my
So in
being.
my area of life, when it comes around my health, I can't be showing up in there courageous and confident and independent and strong. That ain't gonna help me. Why? Because I need help. Put it in the chat. I need help.
Mm.
Put it in the chat
If
if
you
you need
guys
help.
are just joining and tuning in, you are here with Coach Dineen. Let me tell you, we are getting our goals together, people. We are
Come
in the
on.
Village Leadership Group and we are digging deep. Coach
Yes.
Dineen is telling us and dropping some gems. It is not in the doing, it's in the
Nope.
being. Who are you being? What
That's
what
it.
are you doing?
That's
That's
it.
not it. It's what
That's
are you
it.
being?
It's who you
I
being.
just
So
said that
when
they
you
hit.
go into that classroom, when you go into that community, right?
Mhm.
I was talking to Dr. Roz. Dr. Roz, I love you. I hope you feel better. I was talking to her a couple of weeks ago, and she got some major goals. She wanted to make some major impacts in her school. And I'm like, so
Mm.
here's what you got to get. Here's the thing that I want to tell you out there, all y'all movers and shakers, y'all bossing, because y'all bossing it out. Y'all in the village, I already know you bossing it out. But here's the thing I want you to get. Whatever change or impact it is that you want to see right now is not available based on who you are right now. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. So, whatever change, whatever thing that you see that's missing at your school, in your community, at your home, in your business, or whatever, you're not being that person right now because you're having that issue, that problem, that upset, that breakdown. So you're not who you need to be when you show up, right? We're going to keep pointing
Right.
back to Coach Williams, right? She knows that when she gets into these rooms and it comes to math, she has to be flexible because she's getting all types of children from all different walks of life. If she was stringent and if she treated every child the same, she wouldn't be able to reach all the children that she's able to reach.
Right.
So here's the same thing for you in your community, at your place, at your job, in your career, with your team, while you trying to set your team on
On
fire. Drop
fire.
the link, Dr. Roz. Every time when you setting your team on fire, here's the thing. who is it that you're being when you're able to do that? Because it's not in the doing. You can't do enough stuff to motivate your team. You
Right.
can't do enough things, because look, the thing that you go to work on persists. Anything that you resist persists. Put it in the chat. Whatever it is that I resist persists. Meaning, when you start going to work on something like real hard and over focusing on it, don't you seem like it gets worse and it don't get better?
Look,
right?
Did you see my day today?
Like, I'm telling you, it's not in the doing. And as soon as you get in that moment, like right now, if it's anything that I want you to walk away with, I want you to walk away with these upsets and breakdowns and things that you feel like needs to be fixed. Because remember, and nothing's wrong with you. There's nothing broken. You're whole and complete just the way you are. The only reason why you're not able to show up the way that you need to show up could be a blind spot for you. You could not know that you need to be flexible in this other area, like I needed to be in my health and well-being, because I've been so successful being independent, courageous, bold, not needing anybody. And it's hard for me to embrace that I need help in this area. So here's one of the things that I want you to get while you are examining this area of life, this way of being, this thing that you've been wanting so bad that you could taste it, you can feel it. You can feel the fire because it's on fire, right? Yeah, you can feel the fire. Here are some things that I want you to get based on the situation that I'm going through. In order for me to have success in my health and well-being, the first thing that needs to happen is I need to be vulnerable. And see, I don't know what that may be for your situation. Again, if you have a personality like me, you're super courageous, bold, you're confident, you strong-willed, you independent, you can make things happen, and you already have answers, and you're successful in other areas of your life, and it works in other areas of your life. But you got an area that no matter how bold you come up, no matter how strong you are, it doesn't work. Then maybe you need to change who you're being in the situation. And around my health and well-being, I got to be vulnerable. I got to let people know
what? You saying be vulnerable just scared me, right? You know, being vulnerable is scary, especially depending on your circles, right? If you are always that person that's the strong one, if you're always that person, the solver, to go, right? So being vulnerable and admitting that there's a problem, like us having that conversation and me answering, talking about that, basically, I'm not seeing the success where I want to see the success. I kind of almost, to me, it sounded like I was a failure. Right?
Oh, I'm
you
glad you
see,
brought this. See, girl, I love when you start talking to me. I love when you start talking. I need to let you talk to me. More.
It's scary because let me tell you, I don't know if you all know this, but I'm a math nerd. And some people in my family,
we wouldn't guess that.
And I never fail at anything. And if I'm about to fail, I back away from it, right? I'm not going to enter into anything where there is a probability that I'm going to fail. I set myself in situations where I know I'm going to be successful. So admitting this, I'm like,
so let me ask you a question. Let's have a little conversation on screen. If you, yeah. So being a person that don't want to fail and don't put yourself in situations that you can fail, how is that impacting your life?
It's holding me back from a lot. When I tell you I don't move, even in careers, I've been told multiple times, I'm glad Dr. Roz is not on because she would be looking crazy right now. It's opportunities that I have not gone for because I didn't feel like I was ready. I mean, when I tell you my crew is telling me like you can get it, that fear was kind of like, it just made me stop. And I felt like I just couldn't do it. And even just going out here, like I'm thinking of applying to different things now, and that's actually scary. I'm having to put on a mask to kind of like pump myself up to go out for different things. It's crazy.
So let me offer this to everybody, and specifically to Coach Williams, because she in this space with me and she having a conversation with me, but y'all overhearing the conversation. Right, y'all listening. So here's what I want you to get. Failure is only real in language. Can you put that in the chat for me? Note taker. Put
Hold up.
that
Let
in the
me
chat
write
for
that.
me.
Let me
Yes.
write that down. Y'all got my paper.
Failure is only real and it only exists in language. So here, I want to give you this example. Let's just say you are a tiger out in the woods.
Okay.
And it's time to eat. And you see a zebra. And you run after the zebra, but the zebra get away. Is the tiger a failure?
He hungry.
He hungry, but is he a failure?
He's not a failure.
He's not a failure because guess what he gonna do?
He gonna keep going. Gonna
He
find
gonna look.
something.
Come on, Coach Williams. He gonna look. He's like, okay, zebra, you might have gotten away, but this deer over here in this corner about to get got, and they don't even know it yet. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
Do
cousin
he sit?
zebra.
Yeah, do he sit there and
Right.
call himself a failure and be afraid to go again? No, because he already know if I don't get myself together, I'm gonna be hungry.
Right.
And then it's really gonna be some problems. So he don't never stop trying. He don't never stop going for it because he don't identify or call himself a failure. See, that's what human beings do. That's what we do. That's what we do. And it's because we can do it in language, but failure don't exist nowhere else in language. You may learn something. You may not, your technique may have not been successful, meaning that you just got to try another one. Right. And even though your technique may be good, because I'm sure the tiger technique is still the same for the zebra or the deer, all you got to do is try again. So what do you hear in that, Dr. Coach Williams? I keep wanting to call you a doctor. You're a doctor too. Come on, that's what I'm saying. Coach Williams, what do you hear in that, what I just said?
Honestly, shut up and keep working. You know, that's what I really heard that. Like, okay, there is always a possibility that you might not succeed, but guess what? There's always another opportunity, another door. It might not be the zebra, like you said, it might be the deer. So it might not be to the right. I might have to go to the left, up, down, and around, and then get there.
That's it. But it don't mean you don't change the goal to eat. The goal is to eat. And when it comes to any means necessary, then it's any means necessary. But I'm going to eat. I might not know how I'm going to eat. I might not know when I'm going to finally catch it. But my job is to keep chasing this stuff until I get somebody that I could chomp on tonight.
And I was going to say, that's our job this year. You know, like every time we have our new resolutions in 2023, you know, everybody has all of these goals. Let's be this tiger. We might hit a roadblock, not the F word, failure. Right. But keep going. There's another alternative. And I like that. Yeah. Failure only exists in language.
In language. It's not real.
It's not real.
It's not. No, it's not. Because we think that these feelings and these thoughts that we have really affects our performance, and it doesn't. Like performance has nothing to do with what it is that we know, how we feel, our insights, what we think. Right? It's kind of like, no, when you're on the court, when you shoot in the basketball, the only way you get points is when the basketball go through the net. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're crying. Doesn't matter if you limping. Doesn't matter if your foot broke. No, the only way for you to score is if that ball go through the basket. So who cares that you don't feel good? Who cares that you're sad today? Who cares that you don't feel like you're worthy? Does that have really anything to do with your performance? It has nothing to do with you getting out there on the court and killing the zebra or killing the deer or making the basket. Right? So it's really a numbers game. And when we get that, when it comes to performance, it has nothing to do with who we are. It's not attached to our identity or whether failure is not us. It's just the system didn't work. And it's either telling us that we need to do it again or we need to pick a new system, but it has nothing to do with who we're being. But right now we talk about who we being. The failure was just an extra bonus. Let's get back. Because she said it. So I was like, ooh, let me go ahead and drop this nugget about failure, because we act like failure is real and it's like this real thing, but it's not. It only exists in language, and human beings are the only one that pay failure any type of attention. Nobody else that God has created on this earth pay failure no attention besides us, and we may have even made the word up. Don't know where the word came from. All of y'all teachers, do the study, go back to the
Right.
Latin or
Find your Latin roots.
right, go back to the Latin roots, figure out where it came from. But I promise you that it ain't real. It's
Yeah.
just something that we've created in language to put meaning to something when we don't like the way things worked out. When in
Yeah.
actuality, all it means is what she said is be quiet and keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. All right. So number 2. So the first thing is vulnerable. You got to be vulnerable, right? You got to let people know that you need help. So whatever it is that you're doing, number 1, I want you to get clear who you already been being is not where you need to be. Meaning
Right.
there is another level. You know, when people talk about level up and I'm going to grow and I'm going to do this. Okay, good. I'm glad that you're saying all of this, but it's definitely going to require you to do some self-development. Put that in the chat. It's going to require you to become a new being because the person that you are is responsible for the results that you already see. So if you don't have the results that you want to see, means that there's some being that needs to be happening that ain't being right now. So number two is be coachable. Right?
Ooh.
Like you see how Coach Williams just, she was like, okay, I'm gonna be vulnerable right here. I'm gonna tell you what I'm working on. I have up months in business and I have some down months in business. And it's hard for me to say that I need help or to even put this out here. But here's the thing. Be coachable. There's so many people in this community, right? Like right now in the village. Do you know how many connects you really have? Do you know how many people that could assist you and coach you to where it is that you want to be? But because you're not being vulnerable and because you're not being coachable, because you feel like you know all the things, Dineen, I'm talking to myself, because you feel like you could do it on your own and you don't want people to know that you haven't figured it out yet. Like the longer you stay there, do you get the longer you're going to be there?
Right. Yeah.
The longer you stay mentally not wanting people to know that you need help, do you know the longer you're going to stay in that place physically, that you're not going to grow, you're not going to move forward?
Right.
So you need to be coachable. Anything you want to say on that, being coachable?
You know what? I do want to talk about a story.
Yeah.
Because before I knew I was Coach Williams, I was being a coach, right? I was already doing some of these things.
Already doing it.
And I had a teacher, we were teaching the same topic, and they decided that they were going to teach 3 concepts together and the kids were going to get it. And I suggested, hey, why don't you do one, then the other, then the other, then you could put them together. Oh no, the kids are going to get it. They weren't being coachable, right? They went and did it their way.
Anyway, yeah.
Guess what? They came back.
Yeah.
And they said, what were you saying before? Would you be willing to come in? And sometimes you won't realize that you're ready to be coached until you hit that wall, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so being realistic, and then you will see that you are ready to be coached. When you have had enough, you'll be open, you'll be ready.
Absolutely. But look, y'all don't want to be running into the walls if you don't have
Please
to,
don't.
right? Because please don't, right? It's kind of like if you are being vulnerable and being coachable, like some things that you hear, I would say when people come and present certain things to you, see, this is all of us that don't need nobody, and we super bold and we courageous, we confident, we know what we're doing, right? There are some areas. Remember, when I didn't say this, but when it comes to planning, like planning events, you can't touch me. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been doing it. I got this. Right? I got this. But again, when it comes to this area of health and well-being, guess what? I ain't got it. I ain't got it. So there's going to be situations and things that you see, even though you may have had success in that area. When someone comes along and offer you a new way of doing things, that is the universe calling you to become someone else. And here's some of the things that become. Be humble. Be what Coach Williams said that she is when it comes to math. Yeah. Be flexible. Be open. Because see, you're going to wind up cutting your nose off, spite your face, because it's going to be a blessing. And because you're so confident and courageous and bold, that you're going to shut down these blessings that God is trying to give you to expand what it is that you're doing.
Wow.
So number three, be committed.
Okay.
Be committed. And the reason why I say be committed is because there's going to be hardships. There's going to be things times where you're gonna want to be tired, or you're gonna tell yourself
Mm,
that, right? And I want y'all to get tired is a story. Put that in the chat, and then
mm.
y'all gotta come see me later for that. Being tired is a story. It's something that you're making up and you're telling yourself. It's not real.
Mm,
Tired story. But there's going to be situations where you're going to want to be tired, and you're going to, want to be frustrated, or you're going to be an upset, or you're going to feel like you're doing it by yourself and you're supposed to be
mm.
doing it with a team. But I want you to be committed. I want you to be committed to what it is that you said that you was going to do.
Right.
So when you speak your words, remember, speaking your word is creation power, it's creative power, it's how things come into existence. Everything that you see started with thought, from thought to word. Let me create this. Let me put this together. Somebody wrote down some plans that's in
Mm,
word. This is
right.
how powerful word is. That's why
Mhm.
y'all don't need to be just like picking any old kind of word for the year and acting like y'all gonna live into it and then don't ever live into it. Y'all
Mm.
lying to yourself. But look, I want
We're
you
not
to
being
get
committed.
that word is super powerful. So
Right.
when you learn how to honor the words that's coming out your mouth, and you get how powerful it is, you'll stay committed to the things that you say, because you get that people, not just you, there's people that's dependent on you. Some people hang on words. Do you get that?
Yeah,
Like, do you
they
do
do.
you visually see people hang on it? Like, I know my girls, my daughters hang on my word. Do you get? I can't be just saying any old thing to them.
Mhm.
Like, I got to make sure whatever it is that I speak to them, that I follow through, because they're hanging on it. I got to be committed to going to get them some Chick-fil-A tonight, because that's what they said they wanted. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
They
But
can
be
remember
committed.
that.
They're gonna be able to remember that. And you best believe, when I walked through this door to come do this live, the first thing that my baby said, okay, so where's the Chick-fil-A? I'm like, I ain't even yet, girl. Give me a second. Look, but be committed. And then number four, be relentless. Be
Mm.
relentless. Like, be relentless. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Y'all remember them
Right.
spirituals? Come on,
Yeah,
I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. That's right. Coach Williams, she was on the clay. I
I
ain't gonna
agree.
let. But right. Don't be relentless, because again, the challenges that you may see, and even this, right? Sometimes people pour words into us that hinders us, and we don't even realize they like, and sometimes they don't do it purposely, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say, as an author, y'all already wrote your book, so don't take this on. But you know how some people be like, oh, you writing a book? So many people that write books, they don't never sell none of their books, so they don't never,
Mm.
right? And they're saying it just based on statistics, right? But they don't understand that now they're planting that seed of doubt that you're going to create something and it's not going to sell. So then you may not think that that seed took root, the words took
Right.
root, and hang on it. But then every time when you're sitting at the desk and God is saying, write the book, or inspiring you for another chapter, you're sitting there like, oh, but is it going to sell? Oh, is anybody going to want to listen to what it is that I have to say? But here's what I'm saying. Even in the face of other people's doubts and fears, I want you to be relentless.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking of just different times. Life isn't easy. My favorite phrase is life be lifing, right?
Yeah.
But okay, through all of these obstacles and just different, I'm gonna call them some little side barriers,
Right.
we still keep going. I think about people's journeys to even make it to 2023, right?
Come on.
Relentless. We
Yes.
have to be that relentless in what our goals are too. Like
Yes.
you said, sometimes we have some naysayers and you don't even realize, I'm sorry, that they're speaking kind of death over you, what your
Absolutely.
goals are, right?
Yeah.
But be relentless, and that didn't come to you lightly, right?
Right.
So
For
keep
sure.
persevering, keep pushing.
That's right.
Ooh,
The seed that was given to
yeah.
you was not given to anybody else. But don't let people kill your seed. It's just like when you have a newborn baby, everybody can't hold a baby in the beginning. So that means you don't need to be sharing this with everybody. Everybody cannot
Ooh, that's
hold your
good.
dreams. Everybody can't hold the
Yes.
baby when the baby first comes into the world, because there's too many germs out there, and you don't want them killing your
Mhm.
baby with their germs. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Don't kill my dreams with your COVID. Mm-mm.
That part. I love it. I love it. All right. And then finally, y'all, be the change. We started out having this conversation about your
Yeah.
being, right? Coach Williams is flexible in the area that she's succeeding in. But if you could take a look at the area that you're not making the progress that you want in when it comes to your business, who would you say that you've been being
Mm.
that's causing it not to do what you believe that it could be doing?
I've been being everything else, right? Um, Taking on extra positions at work, being you know, I'm a mom, but that takes a lot of time when your kids are in sports and other activities. And so I'm also trying to be very supportive there. My husband has his business. I'm trying to be supportive there. I'm a giver. I
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
constantly giving, and I think that's
it's
my
that being busy. Yeah.
being busy.
I love it. Yeah, that's so true. Like I thank you, Dr. Roz. I know that's you in the background being busy, and because so here's the thing. Sometimes we find ourselves doing things for other people, and you might not see it. Right? This
Mhm.
is right. It gives us, I don't want to say an out on building the hard thing, right?
It
It's
does.
kind of like we focus on things that need to be done, right? Taking care of the kids, going to the games, all those things, it need to be done. Somebody got to do it. But it don't mean that Coach Williams need to be the person to do it when she
Mhm.
know she need this time to go build the business or
Right.
work on making phone calls or whatever. But when we are afraid of failing or afraid of things not working out, we
Mhm.
tend to avoid them. Put it in the chat. Sometimes we avoid the things we know that we need to be doing in order to
So
have success in the
being
areas that we want to have it. What you say? I'm
I
sorry.
say you I say you basically said I'm being a chicken.
Kinda, kinda, kinda. I'm kinda saying you being the chicken, but I'm
Kinda.
kinda saying you
Right.
allowing other life things, life to be life and to distract you from what it is
Yeah.
that you said that you want. But that's how people show up, right? It's in
Right.
the being. That's what I'm saying. It's not in the doing because you're doing a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
Your energy you're doing just ain't in the right place where it
Mm.
needs
Right.
because you are battling that not wanting to fail. And you said it
Mhm.
yourself. You don't even go into situations unless you know you're gonna win. So
So
going into an area where it's uncertain or unknown and that you're not sure of, it's holding you back. It's called that
yeah.
blind spot. It's called, it's the type of conversation that we have in my
Mhm.
class, becoming the change, right? Because you
Mm.
can't see it. That when you're in
Right.
conversation with me, I can point to it. Like I can help you see it, but you can't see that you're being busy doing these other things because you're really afraid to give this the time and attention that it needs because the last thing you want is to give this time over here and then it not work.
Mm.
And then what do you have to say about that time and the sacrifice? Maybe you could say from not being there at the kids' game or doing whatever it is that
Right.
you do, right? So you continue to avoid the things that you know that you need to do because you don't want to fail. But you labeling it as I'm busy. I got a lot of
This
stuff to do. I got all these
there's a
hats.
lot on my plate.
It's a lot on my plate. So whenever you start hearing that kind of stuff right there, and all that, I just want y'all to think of me like, she Coach Dineen already told me that it's not in the doing, it's in the being. So when I see myself being busy, I got to figure out who am I being in this? Am I being someone that's putting off what I could do today for tomorrow?
Right.
Right? Am I really being a person that's, I don't want to say lazy, but it could be lazy, or it could be do I lack belief, or being a person that don't believe in myself?
Right.
I'm not being courageous, right? So those are the things that would be missing for you to show up that you need to have in this new year in order to change your life. So look, quick recap. I want you to get that in order for you in whatever area of life that you may be working on, that you have been wanting to see progress in and you haven't been able to see it, it's in the being.
Mm.
It's in the being and it's not in the doing. So you need to spend some time and work on how are you showing up, Dineen, in this area of health and why it's not working? Because in this area, you successful, you banging it out, right? But when you bring those same qualities, the being courageous, the being confident, the being independent, the being the person to make it happen, it don't work over here.
Mm.
Why? Because in my health and wellness, I need to be vulnerable. I need to be coachable. I need to be committed. I need to be relentless. And I need to become the change. I need to just chill. I need to let people
Mm.
in. I need to let people know that I need them. And it's the same thing for whatever that area is. Like, again, I don't know what it is that you're dealing with. We haven't been in conversation. But I promise you, if you get in conversation with me, come and join me in the class, becoming the change. If you don't mind sharing that link, share that link, Dr. Roz.
And I was just going to say, like, teacher leaders out there, it's
Yeah.
a new year. We're setting goals, and you're probably starting to prepare for the next leg of your career. reach out to Coach Dineen. She's going to put that link in the chat. I think it was just dropped. Get in touch with her. Tell them a little bit more about how they can find you, what services you provide,
Okay.
all of that.
Yes. Okay. So I definitely want you to follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Dineen Merriweather. Like, go subscribe. Like right now, YouTube. I want to get to a certain amount so I could change my name. But definitely, go ahead and do that. I want you to follow me on Facebook at Dineen Merriweather, Instagram Dineen Merriweather, YouTube Dineen Merriweather. It's the same name on all the platforms. Each and every Saturday, 11 o'clock a.m., we're in the group coaching session called Becoming the Change. It is my stand for the year. And I want you guys to join me. Come in, check it out, be with me, bring your life to the session. Like whatever it is that's not working. The part that you've been wanting to change in, the part that you like, I know that I want this. I know that I want to make this type of money. I know I want to make this type of impact in my school. I want to be this type of leader. I want to be this type of teacher. And you've been trying and working at it and working at it, working at it. And you probably been doing and doing and doing. It ain't in that. That's not where you're going to find it. That's not how you're going to get to where you're going. It's in the being. So come and have a conversation with me and let's get to the level of being that you need to have the level of success that you want in your life. And thank you guys for letting me come and be here and let me be the conversation kicking off the new year. If you need help to get your whole life together, just reach out and I'll be more than happy to be in conversation with you.
And I want to thank you so much for coming. And before you leave, before we close out, I want to just say, Soror, because I won't probably speak to you on Friday, but happy early Founders Day.
Hi, happy Founders Day.
So we do want to shout out all of our sorors. Happy Founders Day, early Founders Day to all of you all.
Yes.
Okay.
Love
And
y'all.
remember, we love you.
Yes.
Hit up Dineen. Okay.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's become the change this year. It's the focus. Become the change. It's not in the doing, it's in the being. It's not in the doing, it's in the being. It's not in the doing, it's in the being.
Absolutely. And you know where you are. You are with the village. Remember, we go live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Remember to follow us at the Village LG on Facebook and Instagram. Guys, thank you so much. Follow us. And remember, teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. Bye, you all.
Bye, y'all.